What's going on? My name's Adam, and I just want to say thanks for joining me today. We have two pieces of news for Genius Brands International. Okay, so first one is that they're issuing more shares, and I mean, to me, this is not a good sign for Genius Brands. So again, here today we filed a preliminary proxy for a special meeting of stockholders that is expected to be held on August 27th. Um, the purpose was to amend our articles of incorporation to increase the authorized number of shares of Genius from 233 million to 400 million shares. Okay. And so, they just are trying to reassure shareholders. Um, and so the purpose of these new shares will be to take advantage of unusual current opportunities to acquire assets in the consolidating entertainment space, which will be accretive to the company or something positive, right? So people usually associate the issuance of shares with share dilution, which means that it takes a lot more buying pressure to increase the stock price of the shares. And but they say, however, when the dilution is accretive, basically they're raising money to acquire assets that will help them in the long term, right? And so this will be greater than the dilutive effect. Okay. But again, okay, this is what any company will say, especially a growing company like this. Um, and again, trying to reassure, we have only one class of voting stock. It is common stock, and mine it is the exact same as all other shareholders. Okay. Um, and then they talk about the Walt Disney playbook to see value changing from increasing the number of shares through issuance of new stock. Um, and they say, imagine what Disney Company would have been today without having been smart and moved to acquire these companies. Okay, but okay, first we have to look at the track record of Genius Brands International and Walt Disney. Okay, they have a sort of a different brand, and also Disney now features its own park, and it caters to a much larger audience than Genius Brands does, at least right now. And so it doesn't have the same sort of reputation that Genius has. Okay, second piece of news um, is that now, following a slate of recent company news regarding the launch of Cartoon Channel, the creation of Stanley Universe, anchored by a global deal with Archie Comics, and the appointment of Michael Wilson, etc., etc. Um, so recently, they've taken tremendous strides in our growth, and those developments are just a part of Genius Brand's story. Says Genius chairman and CEO. So they have been working on the iOS app, which will debut before month end, and securing new content. And again, so they go on to, we're working diligently to build a value machine in children's entertainment, gathering the best talents in the industry and striving to provide top quality content. This is the best way to deliver long-term shareholder return. So now, and this was released July 22nd, so a couple days ago. So they're saying that there's going to be new sources of income, and they think that they're issuing more shares to basically be able to get on these platforms and to expand, and um, that will deliver long-term shareholder return. Okay, so not only that, so Genius Brands has signed a raft of broadcast and digital platform deals around the world for its animated temple children's series, Rainbow Rangers, currently airing in the U.S. on Nick Jr. And so they talk about all these platforms that they're going to be streamed on. And then Shanghai has also licensed the rights for mainland China of season 2 to Rainbow Rangers with an investment commitment. Same thing with Llama Llama. I saw new international content deals in Poland, Israel, and Croatia. Um, and they talk about exciting new opportunities. And then they proceed to talk about the other stuff other than the seasons that they're producing from the Rainbow Rangers and Llama Llama, such as new masks and new sort of toys to incorporate. And I think maybe the masks is definitely a good idea. Additionally, for every mask purchased, and they donate a medical grade mask. So I know that they're definitely trying to do this um, to sort of hype up their brand, and I think that's a really good idea. But again, I just don't know. When we look at something like Genius Brands, and we look at their earnings, from 2018 to 2019, they just went from 9 million in losses to 11.5 million. And we look at their quarterly earnings, again, went from negative 2 million in fourth quarter 2019 to negative 6 million in first quarter of 2020. And okay, this is a company that's competing with, again, for example, like Disney in trying to attract market share for their streaming channels. And I mean, again, I'm not comfortable with buying this. And again, I echo the same sentiment that I said like a couple weeks ago. And when I made the video, I'll link it in the description or something. I believe, the price was like 2.2 a couple of weeks ago, and then it just went down, right? So even this past week, it went down by 18% almost, so definitely a large turn down. And I think most of the downtrend was definitely because of the news that they want to issue more shares, which would dilute shareholder value, right? And again, a lot of hype has been on the stock, so up 55%, almost just based on the news that they were going to incorporate intellectual property content from Stan Lee into their Stan Lee universe, and so that shot the stock up by such a large amount. And even after hours of trading on Friday, it's down 5%. So again, the stock is just going lower and lower. And one thing that I like to look at is the amount of shares shorted. So as you can see, the share short interest was 3.6 million prior to May 29th, and the share short interest were 21.5 million shares as compared to 3.6 million shares, right? So like almost like a 7 times increase in the interest in shares shorted, right? So again, that's not a good sign. And again, as I've always said, people who short shares have more to lose because there's more losing potential versus like buying a stock and just holding it, right? Because a stock has always unlimited upside potential, okay? So again, this is not a good sign, and when we combine that with the revenue, I can't invest in the stock yet. I think it's too speculative, and I would like to see some good numbers before I invest. And I think that all this news is pretty hype, and I have respect, and I think that they're gonna grow, but I just can't invest my money into it yet. So anyways, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and have a fantastic day.